Came close to beating Governor Nathan Deal in the Georgia Republican primary not too long ago. She joins me right now. Very honored to have Karen Handel on the line with us, who is running for the U.S. Senate race in Georgia. Karen, how are you today?
I am great. Thrilled to be with you this morning.
Hope you're staying warm for sure.
Absolutely.
It's all this crazy global warming, I guess, huh?
Yeah, so much for global warming, exactly.
Hey, before we start talking about Obamacare and how it's affecting Georgia and some of the ideas that you have as you are running for the U.S. Senate, not too long ago you were in Statesboro, Georgia. There's a lot going on in Bullock County in regard to there was a big controversy over prayers at football games, among other religious liberty issues. And I think you had a chance to meet Jonathan Cook there. He's a friend of mine with Citizens for Religious Liberties.
Oh, great. I did have a chance to meet Jonathan, along with a couple of other really great community leaders there in the Statesboro area, Susan Sneathan, Rick Stewart, and a number of others.
And I guess the big question is, in regard to that, is there anything that can be done on a state and federal level to strengthen religious liberties?
Well, I look at it like this. I was at a lecture, and a individual was talking, and he said something I thought was really important. He said that religious freedom is not a byproduct of liberty. Religious freedom is a prerequisite of liberty. And it really hit me hard. And I think that all of us as citizens in this country who live in a free society, it's incumbent upon us. The laws are in place. We have to demand that our government officials step back and stop intruding, whether it is prayers at football games, the conscious trampling HHS mandates that are under Obamacare, on and on and on. Obamacare itself, intrusion, it's just the complete and total steady stepping of the federal government more and more into our lives.
And, since you brought up Obamacare and other laws that are affecting religious liberty, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act is another one that's doing just that. That's right. Where is health care going in Georgia right now, and how is Obamacare affecting it?
Well, Obamacare is really having an incredibly detrimental impact on Georgians and Americans across the country. We saw the first wave with employers either laying off individuals or rolling back hours to accommodate the requirements that they have to meet, and then the HHS mandate that we just talked about, and then also increased premiums, and it's just really having a terrible toll on Georgians. But, for America, we have got to repeal Obamacare. And then the next step is to be for something, which is to replace it with a patient-centered, market-driven type of health care reform. And Congressman Tom Price has a really good bill, H.R. 2300, which allows for portability of your plans. It sets up a high-risk pool for those with pre-existing conditions. It has additional tax credits, more robust health savings account, and importantly, additional tort reform so that we can do more about driving down the cost associated with defensive medicine.
We're back with the one and only Karen Handel. A lot of times when we hear about pre-existing conditions, that's one of the things that people say, we got to deal with that. But the first thing that comes to a lot of conservatives' mind is that, boy, that's just going to be an astronomical cost to deal with pre-existing conditions. How can we deal with that without it being such a pricey thing?
Well, that's why you set up the high-risk pools. And the truth is that, for the people out there with pre-existing conditions who don't already have insurance through their companies, it's while it's a number of people, in percentage terms, it's not a huge percentage of the population, if you will. And I think the high-risk pools is a good way to go because it will help to balance out the cost. And I think we should all take a step back and think about how incredible it is to live in a country that has had such extraordinary medical innovation, that people with illnesses, diseases, who have had accidents that just 10 years ago they would not have survived, they are surviving. And we need to find a way to deal with that in a fair and balanced way so that it doesn't put a cost burden on the healthy population, but then spreads it out amongst the high-risk population.
I wanted to touch on a couple of things that have been brought up in the news as of late, politically speaking. Former Indiana Republican Senator Dick Lugar, we have found out that he has been helping Michelle Nunn's campaign by funding it. And I guess, with your race to the U.S. Senate, it looks like you're fighting more than just Democrats and different opponents out there that you would think that are your friends, but I guess they're not.
Well, I look at it like this. I have my own friends from Indiana, Secretary of State, former Secretary of State, and current Congressman Todd Rokita is supporting me. But the big point here is who are the people in Georgia who are going to be supporting candidates? And the overwhelming majority of supporters for my campaign, donors, are from Georgia. And for your listeners, here's the thing. We have to decide who is the proven conservative in this race, number one, and who is the strongest GOP nominee to go up against and beat Michelle Nunn. And in both of those instances, you're talking to her. I have a proven record of actually implementing conservative policies and getting the job done, whether it was dealing with the budget crisis at Fulton County without raising taxes. And oh, by the way, I did that with a Democratic majority on the commission, and I did it by getting cost savings, not by raising taxes. And National Journal, they already looked at the field of candidates, and they even concluded that the strongest individual to face up against Michelle Nunn is a strong, proven conservative woman, Karen Handel.
We look a lot of the votes and the actions of Isaacson and Chambliss in the U.S. Senate right now, and we always bristle every time they're about ready to vote, or maybe they vote no, but they bring a bill to the floor where they had the power to kill it to begin with. We look at the latest vote to confirm Janet Yellen. What is your reaction to that vote?
Well, I have great respect for both Senator Isaacson and Senator Chambliss. I consider both of them friends, and we may not agree on everything. I think the bigger issue is, we've got some real issues in this country, Bill, and dealing with the spending and the debt. Those are the two biggest things. Getting our fiscal house in order really is the foundation of being able to rejuvenate our economy in a way that we can get people back to work. And that's the most important thing, is making sure that as Republicans, as conservatives, that we are being focused on getting things going in this country so that prosperity, opportunities for prosperity can be restored for Georgia families and for Americans across this country.
Karen Handel, running for U.S. Senate, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Absolutely. God bless. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you when I'm next in South Georgia.